Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What's on Tap podcast, back again in your ear holes with a double IPA special coming to you live. Not live, recorded, but it's live at the moment. We're both alive.
We're both alive right now.
Yes.
So you can hear that Martin is back.
He is.
So
what?
It's a double IPA, but there are not double Martins.
Nope, not yet. After drinking both of these double IPAs, there might be double Martins. Because I believe both of these are probably in the 8 to 9% range. If I had to guess,
100%.
100%. It's just 8% and. It does not say what the ABV is.
Okay, so then I'm going to. During 2019, Finn released a session IPA. They called it a session IPA. It was 5.6%.
Of course,
I was critical that would be a session IPA. Then I saw a brewer who called a 6.5% IPA a double IPA. So if you put those two clues together, then a regular IPA is somewhere between 5.6 and 6.5.
Yep, it's just a 1%.
Not even a 1%. That's very thin. Everything else is a double IPA.
Yeah. Well, apparently, yeah. So, what is anything over 7.5? Is double IPA?
My personal opinion is 8 is the minimum. I would not.
So I always thought that IPAs were like 5 to 7.
There's probably
and then doubles are like 7-ish to like 9,
and then that's a triple.
And then it's triple over.
Probably. But whenever I see a double IPA that's 8%, I become happy because I usually like that range.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this Threes Brewing is also in the 8% range. You'll have to double check me on that one, but I'm not sure.
Quickly.
So
it's 8.
Yeah, so we've got two double IPAs, one from Threes Brewing out of Brooklyn, and then one from Copenhagen called Gamma Brewing. And Gamma has not been around too terribly long, but they have been doing just really great stuff here recently. Yes. Putting out more and more things. Once they went to the canning, I think it kind of changed everything, the way they do stuff, because they've just been cranking out, it seems like, 1 can beer a week.
Yep. And their first releases on bottle were not that impressive. But
they were okay.
They really stepped up their game.
Yeah, I like World Eater was probably my favorite of theirs.
The
stout.
That
was Imperial Milk Stout. Yeah, I thought that was really good.
Nom.
All right, so we're going to start with Threes Brewing, Edge of Consciousness.
I'm happy you got this.
Me too.
I like Threes.
This is part of the MBCC can release for that week leading up to it. And Trace also came out at the exact same time. So these are only about 3 weeks old. I mean, from the time I purchased them. I don't know if there's a... hold on 1 second.
He's checking the bottom of the can.
The bottom of the can says stay the course, and there is a best by date, but it is rather smudged. So, like, there's a 4, and then there's maybe like a 39, and then there's like a 19. I don't know.
39.
I don't like I'm saying. It's really hard to figure out.
So the 39th of Undecember last year.
So I think it's basically. 06, 19 maybe.
Okay. It's too spooky for me.
And then the trace is that's even worse. November 2019. So this was canned in May 2019 and best by November 2019.
Nice.
All right. So let's cheers.
Cheers. This is a Threes, Edge of Consciousness.
Oh, it smells so good. So hoppy. With some tropical notes in the nose.
That's a nice hop character. I can't name a single fruit.
No,
I'll need to try it again.
It's very hoppy, but I think we're actually getting this can right about when we need to try it. I think.
Is this one resinous? I keep using that word incorrectly. Like resin.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's its resonance. No.
Okay. People keep using it in double IPA terms, and I've never been able to
pinpoint what that style would be. It's kind of boozy.
Yeah, a little bit 8% pine.
Yeah, I would say there is a bit of pineness to it. The hops still seem really a little on the raw side, which is kind of surprising. Definitely pine on that.
I usually enjoy pine. This is good.
I do too. It's quite nice.
This.
Yeah, it's a very pleasant double IPA. I quite enjoy this. It's not blowing my mind or anything like I have had with some other double IPAs, but I think this is, for an afternoon kind of beer, it's pretty good.
If we're allowed to say it, it's a pretty standard double IPA?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty standard. I don't think this is ever going to be anyone's favorite, but you can certainly do a lot worse than this. So I'm going to go in at like a 3. I think a 3.5.
I'm higher. I'm either at a 3.75 or as high as a 4. I usually don't mind this boozy, hop burny feeling because my mind is already set to that dial when we go into double IPA territory. So I expect a lot of like aggressive hop fizziness at the back of my throat. That's what I'm getting now.
Yeah.
It currently is a 3.75, but the more I drink it, it might increase to a 4.
Yeah, it's at a 3. Like I said, it was really tough for me. I was like, is it 3.5 or 3.75?
Yeah.
I like the bitterness at the end. I think that's kind of what it doesn't go towards sweet. And when I see these kind of hazy IPAs, I usually think a little more sweet than bitter. Yep. So I think that's a nice change. I think that's why you're getting this tar, piney kind of flavor to it.
But it's interesting because we're usually quite good, you and I, at talking about beers.
Yeah.
And here we're just drawing a blank.
Well, it's like, kind of the problem. There's really, it's like, is it good? It's good. Is there like...
Does it have hops? Yes.
But there's really not much to say about it. It doesn't really excite me one way or the other. It doesn't push me towards it. What I do like is the head retention. It does have some nice lacing on the glass.
Yeah.
And then when you agitate it, it kind of foams back up. So that's
very white.
That's really,
tiny
really
bubbles.
Nice. Yeah. I said it's a good beer, but I'm going to forget that I had it soon after having it.
There's the risk, yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's get into Trace.
Gamma.
From Gamma.
Yeah.
And this is quite a bit darker. If the edge of consciousness is kind of a straw in color, this is like a deeper apricot kind of jam looking.
Yeah, hay? No, the first one is hay.
The first one's kind of hay, straw looking, really light, golden. And this is much...
Yeah.
Like I would say, a richer in color, almost like a bone broth kind of
color. That's the first time I hear bone broth.
In relation to beer. But
you've already tried it?
No. Shut up. Smell is... it doesn't really smell anything.
No, it doesn't smell anything. Is it too cold? No. It's pretty cold, but it
should be enough. It should be enough to where you can get some of the hop aroma off of it. Yeah, even smelling the can, I don't get any kind of smell.
So let's try it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. This is a weird one.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's not unpleasant. It's a little bit sweeter, and it's going more into that, hazy New England IPA style, I think.
Yeah,
but it almost tastes like a pale ale.
Yeah, this one is a little bit disappointing for me because I've loved a lot of recent Gamma releases.
Yeah,
this one seems to lack a lot of flavor. If someone would have given to me, I would not have guessed double IPA.
No, yeah, I mean, I think the Threes Brewing was a little boozier, This is a lot less boozy.
It has a little bit of a plastic side.
I find it to be a little watery. Like the mouthfeel itself is not unpleasant, but it's very thin. There's not a lot of flavor going on here. It's kind of clean. It's kind of neat. A little dry, but it just doesn't really give you much.
Now I really need to go back to the edge of consciousness because now I have 2 beers to compare them to each other. The Threes, it does pop more in comparison.
Yeah,
it is the better of the two.
I think the carbonation is better on it as well. It's a little brighter. And the trace is not flat. It's still very lively in the glass and froths right up, but it just doesn't give you a lot.
It's like a cask ale in the mouthfeel.
Yeah. It does drink really clean and a little sweet and quite pleasant, but again, it's very easy to drink, but it doesn't necessarily excite you about it.
I'm gonna increase my rating for Threes. I'm now giving it a 4.
Okay.
When comparing it to the Gamma Trace.
Yeah. I'm going to leave mine at a 3.5, and I'm going to give the Trace right at a 3.
A 3. I'm giving the Trace a 3.5. I'm still finding some qualities there, but I am disappointed. My mind was already gearing up to give.
Well, for me,
4 or higher.
This goes back to that Wylam's conversation we had at the end of last year, where it's like, I know what Wylam's can do.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And then when they come out with something that you're just kind of like misses the mark, you're kind of like, oh, damn. And I've had so many Gamma beers that are 3.75s to 4.25s that I just feel like if this isn't as good as the Threes Brewing, then how less in quality do I think it is?
Yeah.
And I don't think that the Edge of Consciousness deserves a higher rating simply because it tastes a little bit better than the Trace. But I don't think that
I do agree there, but for me, when I try beers side by side, it does bring out flavors that I might have missed the first time around. It's the same thing. If you go from like I have no good example. But if you go from a really, really sweet drink into a rich red wine, the red wine can taste completely garbage because your taste buds have all acclimatized to a certain
really,
flavor.
Really sweet. So then you take something. It's kind of like if you go from a really sour beer or from a really rich stout to a sour beer. It could be a little jarring and off-putting at first.
Yeah, like vinegar or battery acid.
Yeah.
So I'm not increasing the Threes Edge of Consciousness because it's a better beer. I'm increasing it because I now get more of the flavors from it.
Yeah, so I think it's opened up a little bit. I think you're getting a little more tropical now.
Yes.
When you try it, I think you get much more of the tropical notes off of it, which is quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, 3.5, 3. I think those pretty accurate because I know that Gamma can do a lot better than this, and this was just it was an okay release, but they can
do better.
They can do much better. All right. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram. Spotify, YouTube, wherever you can find great quality podcasts, you can find What's on Tap. So until next time.
Consume or not consume, thou must continue.
Good job. we should just start switching up and making all Shakespearean references.
Yes.